Good afternoon, everyone. Arenal volcano, Central America, 1968, that top row with the least amount of eruption recorded over the last 7,000 years. That's right where that orange arrow is, but look below it. Each successive white layer is ash. Look how massive the eruptions were compared to the 1968 eruption. Massive heat blob east of New Zealand. What's out there? Oh, underwater volcanic ridges plus White Island went off. Any connection? Double cyclones spinning across northern Atlantic. And a shout out to CF Jingara putting out the video here recommending not only my channel but other channels as well if you want to get more informed about the grand solar minimum as well about the conditions of the fires that have occurred in Australia. What are the scariest things that you think about that could devastate your retirement savings today? The Chinese trade war, stock market crash, the Fed losing control of the overnight repo market, a clear sign that there's trouble ahead, gold sitting at 6-year highs. And isn't it time to think about gold and silver as a hedge against a full-blown market crash? Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs top-rated gold IRA dealer where you work directly with an owner and avoid paying absurd broker fees. Call today or request a free investment kit. The link's in the description box below. PatriotGoldGroup.com. South Pacific heat blob. You're not hearing about this in the news too much, are you? Darcy up in Ontario sent me this lead here. What is causing that heat? Anomalous. So then I looked again on Null School today, found the exact same blob, but it seems to have moved west a little bit closer to New Zealand. And then on Google Earth here, what do you see in that same exact area offshore? What are all those dots that are making a line? Underwater volcanic ridge. I'm wondering if it has anything to do with the White Island eruption that erupted unexpectedly. All those tourists were caught out there. Now we have this gigantic blob of heat somehow sitting right above a volcanic ridge. Do you think they could be connected? And maybe that's the reason why mainstream media is not focusing on this heat blob. Now down to the Heirloom volcano in Costa Rica, I've had a lot of people write and ask me, hey, what about Panama? What about Costa Rica? So I've been doing a bit more research as safety spots. These are all the volcanic eruptions in the last 7,000 years, but you can see an enormous amount of those clumped around, say, 13 to 1,500 years ago. And then if we go back, say, 2,200 years ago, you'll get another nice cluster there. And it looks right around 3,500 years ago, there's another small clustering. And what you notice is all of these are below the VEI 5 eruptive index. So going back 7,000 years in history, that's a good indication of how massive these eruptions could be. Nice list here of the before present dates so you can track down each individual eruption. And then one of the resources in the footnotes there brought me to this PDF and then it linked at the top. 1968 eruption, that's the one we have the best data on. Look how small that is. In terms of a cubic kilometer, it's 0.003% of a cubic kilometer was the amount of ash injected. This will be more of a regional thing. This will definitely not be a global cataclysmic eruption, but if you're down in Costa Rica or Panama, this could very well affect you. And another thing you'll quickly notice, almost every eruption is a VEI 4. There's only 2 times out of this entire list that it's a VEI 3. So what does that really mean for you and me? Well, I put the arrow there so you can see that line of ash right about the guy's belt line. That's the 1968 eruption. That's how much ash came down, was sandwiched, and they can measure it. Now, if you look quickly down, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps below that, look how much more ash came down during those eruptions. So comparatively 1968, which was not really much, look what the possibility could be. That would for sure disrupt agriculture in the area. Water supplies, agriculture would be disrupted for years on end if we were to be a VEI 4 directly over that area. Now over to the twin monster cyclones rolling across the North Atlantic. Look like baby hedgehogs twisting across. Atmospheric disturbance yet again. You can see the cyclonic spin. Second one's heading up toward Iceland. Remember, just 2 weeks ago, they set the all-time record snow records and wind velocity records for a storm exactly like this to cross over the island, dumping, 30 feet of snow? and 143-mile-per-hour winds in a blizzard, in a snow cane, or whatever you want to call it. But it broke all the records where they're going to have to put new scales in when they do enter the data. And it's all about how these jet streams are behaving or not behaving properly. Grand solar minimum, magnetic polar wander, decreasing magnetosphere. There's an enormous amount of things happening on our Earth. The skies are being affected also. And then on top of that, you have to drop in electromagnetic effects. So the deeper we go into this grand solar minimum, things are going to get extremely mixed up and strange with our weather. This is just the beginning. We're at the very cusp. 50 sunspots or less for solar cycle 25, adapt 2030. Solar forecast count stands. I will not change from that. 50 sunspots or less average. But I know you can hedge against the cold by getting the adapt 2030. It's not you. It's not CO2. It's the sun. Limited design hoodie. Only 3 days left in December. And since the IPCC wants to split hairs on why there's so much record snow, we thought we'd split colors. Something new at the end of the month. The link's in the description box below. And thank you as always for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I will see you next time.